We have Suzanne is running for clerk of court. We had the other clerk of court here a few weeks ago. So Suzanne's going to give a presentation, and then we'll have Q&A right after that. So let's give Suzanne another round of applause.
Thank you very much. It's wonderful to be up this morning and be with all of you. My name is Suzanne Moore. Some of you have noticed a resemblance that I have with my sister, who is Roxanne Wilson. Apparently, a lot of people in Lexington did not realize that Roxanne Wilson was a twin sister. Some years ago, I've been in Lexington 15 years, and I applied for a job with the county 15 years ago, and they told me, "You are the perfect person for this job." And I thought, oh yay, I'm going to start, I'm going to get to know a lot about Lexington, I'm going to get involved in local politics, I'm going to be helping the people of Lexington. And they said, but Suzanne, we have a problem. We can't offer you this job because you're perfect for it in every way, but you look like Roxanne. And I looked at him so funny, and I just stood back and I said, I do not know what kind of discrimination this is, but I'm certain my attorney will be able to figure it out. Well, of course, they're still talking about that in downtown Lexington. My attorney is still figuring out a number of things, and I'm blessed to be here today to tell you that I am ready and prepared to serve Lexington once again, as I have in the past. I've taught school in Lexington. I have also served in the clerk of court's office for 5 years, handling all types of issues that have come through the court. I am running for clerk of court because I want the court to be better than it is. Anytime you have someone that runs an office that thinks that they can't improve things, it's time for a change. And Lexington deserves more than what we have now. I was the executive assistant to the current clerk for 4 years. I worked in family court and helped women and gentlemen who were seeking child support. I worked closely with the judges. I worked closely with attorneys. So I come knowing a lot about what goes on in the courthouse, and I know what does not take place in the courthouse that should be taking place in the courthouse. A lot has been said about the clerk, and I'm not here to besmirch her or to say anything terrible about her. I'm here to tell you the truth. Now, you mentioned, Steve, earlier that there was an article in the beloved Mr. West paper this past week about the other Mrs. Moore writing back about my taking attendance for the clerk. Well, I'm here to tell you that she did tell me to take attendance. I don't care how eloquent she is in her writing, that I did take attendance for the clerk because she asked me to. That was my job, to take attendance for all employees. So I did do that, and the current clerk missed 109 days in 2009. Now, if you figure that up, the average person works 20 days a month, and you divide 20 into 109, that's over 5.5 months of work. She was not there for 5.5 months. Now, some of you are retired, some of you may still work, but I'm telling you, if I was teaching school and I missed 5.5 months of teaching, they would come to me and say, I'm sorry, we have to ask you to leave, we're going to have to hire a full-time teacher. If you missed 5.5 works from your small weeks, excuse me, from your small business, let me tell you that till is not going to be opened and closed. The current clerk has been there. She has instituted some plans. To be perfectly honest, some of those plans were already in effect before she came on. She just picked up the ball and ran with it. Yay! I'm delighted to tell you that she did a wonderful job doing what was already in motion. She does show up occasionally. She's there representing you, but she's not there at 8 o'clock in the morning. She's not there at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And she's not there numerous days when people need to see her. But she has Ms. Moore to do her bidding for her. And I am, come in.
Mickey Garrison.
Man.
Welcome.
Professional photographer, plays Santa Claus at Christmas.
No kidding.
Mickey, good to see you.
Really? You can't imagine that?
A little elf maybe, yes. It's nice to see you. But anyway, I am running because I feel like Lexington deserves to have someone that will be at work every day. I'm running because I feel like that the folks that go to the courthouse need a courthouse that is warm and welcoming. I feel like they need someone that is willing to go beyond what has been done so far to assist them. I want to be that clerk of court who knows how to help people, who doesn't push their problems off on someone else. I want to be there to serve the people of Lexington. I may look like Roxanne Wilson. I may be related to other people in politics, but I am my own person. And I know what I bring to the table is truth and honesty. This article that you mentioned somewhat attacked my integrity and my character. I laughed at first, and then I suddenly got very serious. My character and my honesty and my Christian womanhood has never been attacked like this before. I do not lie, I do not cheat, and I generally don't associate with those that do. I was a Girl Scout leader for 4 years. I was a Girl Scout for 12 years and a den mother for 6 years. I know what truth and honor is. I know what integrity is. I am the personification of those values. And I hope when you go to vote on June the 12th that you will remember Suzanne Moore and will consider voting for me, because I believe that I can bring a fresh face and a fresh, honest look to the courthouse. Thank you once again for having me today. Don't applaud yet, because I have one other thing to say. My friend Kristen Hook has come with me today. We have been working together to get the message out to all of Lexington that there needs to be a change. And I hope you will agree with me that there needs to be a change. Thank you very much for your kindness. And that was a very hard act to follow.
Suzanne, you
Sure.
take a couple of minutes
Oh,
for
I'd love
questions.
to.
Any questions? Ron, you have any questions or? No? Ron does a good job on videotaping, not just here, but a lot of the Patriot events. He was at the county council at the time about that Republican issue we were talking about, the ordinance.
If I could just say just one or two just things, just as a, I've known Suzanne for about 11 years. We have talked over the years over most any issue that you could think of, politically, socially. There is no doubt in my mind. I know what kind of person she is. I know she has the most high character and integrity. She is an example for others to follow in that regard. She has raised her children that way. We've talked about every issue. There's no doubt in my mind. She doesn't lie. It's not part of her persona. She doesn't know how to do anything except stand up for what's right and the truth. And I know in my being that she exhibits servant leadership. And frankly, in an environment that we're in, with people hurting the way we are in this county and in this state and in this country, we need more people that are willing and have the courage to stand up and offer themselves up in perhaps a contentious kind of situation, but nevertheless offer themselves to do the right thing and to want to set an example and model an honest day's pay for an honest day's work. And I know she'll improve the quality around the courthouse, because I've witnessed personally when my child was little in terms of what she did, and she was hired at a particular school because she was so wonderful in terms of connecting with people, etc. When people go to the courthouse, my father was solicitor back in the 70s, and I can tell you I grew up going over there. And when I was growing up, I would go and sit in the courthouse, and the clerk was always there. Always there. So.
Well, that's a very nice compliment, Kristen. Thanks for your compliment. Mr. Gettings said he had a question.
Suzanne,
Yes, sir.
what does the clerk of court do? We've had different county people here talking to us. We had the people who keeps the records, and then you're run for the clerk of court. What is the difference between keeping the records and the clerk of court's job?
Thank you for asking that, and I probably should start every little presentation with that information, because that gets asked
Yeah,
of
people
me
get
often.
confused.
People don't know what the clerk of court does.
That's right.
If any of you have ever had a servant in your home that cleaned up, that straightened up, that's exactly what the clerk of court does. The clerk of court is the custodian for the courthouse. They oversee everything that goes on in the courthouse. They oversee the records that are filed there. They oversee the cases that are seen there, civil court, criminal court or general sessions court, and most particularly family court, where we deal with child support. To be perfectly honest, family court is the biggest and largest area that we have to deal with. Getting child support, ruling people in that haven't paid their child support, making certain that it's done in a timely manner, making sure that when women are coming to the courthouse crying because they haven't fed their children, I have gotten snacks out of my desk drawer to feed children who haven't had food in 3 days. I have helped women who have come there who have been burned over at 90% of their body, and they have 4 kids, and they have no one to help them. I went around the courthouse one day and collected money because I felt such a love for this lady who was a civil engineer, but her husband left her because she was in a gasoline fire. The clerk of court is there to serve the people, and she should be there full time. Now, there is a staff of 36 people that help people get through the various processes for the 3 areas. 36 people make a huge difference, but 37 would make even a bigger difference. And having her be there, having me be there, would be one more person to help the citizens of Lexington. The salary, I don't know whether any of you know, the salary for the clerk of court is $71,000. And then there's another few dollars that are thrown in from the state, and I think it's around $8,000. So we're talking approximately $80,000, and that's before benefits, that's before computers, free cell phones. I imagine the package is well over $100,000 to be clerk of court. It's a sizable chunk of your tax dollars, and your tax dollars should be spent on someone that is going to be at court. Someone that is not going to travel to Jamaica or Mexico or a beach retreat.
Well, in defense of that, let me say this, that salary, I'm an accountant. That salary is based upon what that person could make in a light job on the outside. They didn't just decide, hey, we're gonna give this lady $80,000 to
What
do
is
this
a light
job.
job? What is a job on the outside that's similar to clerk of court?
To take care of 36 different employees and
Oversee their attendance,
She can
yes.
probably tell you better than I can, but it's based on
There's no
what
job
they-
that requires that specific skill set in the private sector. It's a
Well, I'm glad to
specialty.
have him back arguing with me. We'll have to look into it. I haven't dug into it,
Actually,
but I know that it's based on outside
That's not the
stuff.
way the salary is set.
And David would know.
The salary is set, they do a study every couple of years.
Yeah, they do a
Compare
study.
it to other government
Right.
jobs around the metropolitan area. And I found out later that they choose the highest.
So what you're saying is every so often they get out and they shout in the echo chamber?
That's
Now,
probably a good way to put it.
that's
yeah.
my point.
I
It's
mean,
not,
now, that's
it's
not the
based
people
on,
in the job's fault.
You say they look at Saluda County, Richland County, Kershaw County, and then Lexington County and say, well, Richland County's paying more, we're not gonna be outdone, so we're gonna pay more.
Yes.
So we're the number one, okay.
We are number one.
And let me say something to America, Eddie. The Honorable David James, former county councilman, so he knows from an experienced viewpoint from which he speaks. Hold on. David, when you were there, how did they set the salary?
Well, exactly that. They did a study, and they said they were going to do a study, like my first year, and they said so we can keep our salaries comparable.
right.
Time out. Your camera stopped.
David, is that the
The
Archer
man's
study
were
you're
right.
speaking of?
It's over with.
It's called
In
the-
like 95, 96, I don't remember the name of the study.
No, this is
It's going to be.
When I was on the school board, Lexington one, the way they set the salary for the teachers was like the areas of Richmond and whatnot. They wouldn't pay $1 more because they get better qualified teachers. So it was a contest of who could pay the most to get the best teachers.
But apparently, since we have 5 applicants for the job, we probably could cut the salary in half. And
We
still
have
get-
five
yeah.
applicants?
Yeah, it sounds like the supply is exceeding the
I'm
demand.
sorry, do you have a news source that I don't?
We don't have,
Who are the other
who are the
5?
5 applicants? We don't have 5 applicants.
Yeah, well, isn't it 5? Or is it 4?
You're thinking of House Seat 39.
Okay, maybe so.
You, Eddie.
Yeah, okay, it's 4 for your job, yeah.
I don't think there are but 3 yet officially. Do you know of a 4th one that I don't know? I'd love to know if there's.
Well, are you including Tommy?
No, he's not
Isn't
formally
he?
announced. He
Oh,
put it
okay.
on Facebook and then retracted it.
Oh, really? Oh, okay, I didn't know that, okay.
I'm not sure. But I do know that there
Well,
is
the
a
other
third person.
agencies answerable to the clerk of court, like the registrar's office, are they answerable to the clerk of court or to the county?
Answerable is the wrong question.
Well,
They are under the umbrella of the county.
Yeah, but
The
they're not
register of deeds actually functions
actually
under the
under
county.
your office.
Under the county administrator, not the clerk of court.
Are
Is
any
it-
of the agencies under that?
Eddie McCain,
What role does a clerk of court play, if any, when setting court dates for people?
In setting the court dates, the clerk of court really has very little to do. They manage the court dates once they are set by the circuit court. The resident circuit court judge sets the dates. And we have an organization in downtown Columbia that is under the Chief Justice, Gene told us, called Court Administration. And they actually set the dates that the court will be in session so that they can send their judges out to the various courthouses.
The reason why I'm asking that question is that I know there are quite a few people in the Lexington County Jail that have been there for 2, 3, even 4 years, waiting on a court date.
Donnie Morris does that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not the clerk.
That's the same.
That's the solicitor's business, and Met's Motel is a very, very actively full, and that's
What
another.
was that, Roxanne? What kind of hotel?
Suzanne, thank you
I
very
mean, sorry,
much.
Suzanne.
But
Sorry. What kind of hotel?
Met's Motel.
Met's
Met's
Motel.
Motel.
Met's Motel.
It is.
Give me this.
It is working at full occupancy, and that is another area that I'm very concerned about. I would like to see a work release program, there are many people there for child support. They're not criminals. They haven't done anything dangerous. They haven't threatened anybody. They haven't killed anybody, but they get locked up because they haven't paid $1,500 in child support over the last 10 months. They get locked up for 30 days, 60 days, and so forth. I'd like to see them back working with an absolute contract that we will take their money from them for child support.
How do you give them a contract?
Well,
The judge did that, and they
Well-
breached it.
well, you put an ankle bracelet on them and you track them and you know where they are. Now, that gets into where money's coming from. We get fees from the court. Why not use those fees? We have a passport account. The clerk of court has an account that she manages passports. I did the passports, $25. If any of you need a passport, go to the clerk of court's office. You don't have to go downstairs, go downtown and stand in the post office line. You will pay $25 to get her office to process this passport. That $25 goes into a passport fund. That fund is kept at her discretion in her office. Right now it has $35,000. $35,000. Recently she bought a new leather sofa. We had a judge come to the court that was there for 2 weeks and it needed the office needed to be updated a little bit. She bought a leather sofa. He left after his 2 weeks. She brought the leather sofa down in her office. She can spend that money on breakfast. She can have people come in for lunch to discuss whatever she wants to and take the money out of the passport account. That money is not fed into the county treasury as all money should be. As the law says that all monies collected by the clerk of court should go to the county treasurer. I'm sorry.
So people that pay for passports are paying for people's breakfasts?
Absolutely, and flowers.
Some more money.
If you've been in the
that's not going
hospital
into
or you
treasury.
receive flowers from the clerk of court, taxpayer dollars paid for those flowers.
I just got 2 passports and it cost me $260.
That's right, $135 a piece. Well, if you got them through the courthouse, and if you pay downtown, if you go to the passport office or the post office, they too were charging you $25 to keep that office going. We, as an official government agency, can have a contract with the passport people to offer that service. Sorry, I'm sorry.
Suzanne, I agree with you. When someone does not pay their child support, they're locked up. What happens? They lose their job. When they come back out, they have no job. They lose their ability to make a living, okay, because they have a criminal record. So if they could do day work, like you're saying, go to the original job they were at, because most of them are working, from the standpoint, it would really help the system.
It would
Somebody
make-
shut that man up, he's being way too logical.
Too sensible, really true. You're absolutely right. It would make a tremendous difference, and it would make a tremendous difference at the courthouse. Well, very quickly, I will hurry up. We have a new court system that's getting ready to go into effect, where the Department of Social Services will take over the management of all the funds for child support. It's efficient. I'm not sure exactly how it's going to help the totality of the family court. It's in the process. Even the current clerk is not aware of exactly what's going to
And
happen.
see, the thing we forget are the kids. We have a lost generation of kids out there.
Absolutely.
And, you know, it's a sad
tragic.
situation.
Suzanne, well, thank you for coming today.
Thank you, and I'll be happy to, my card, I've passed them out. My cell phone is on that card, and if you have any questions, or if you have someone that would like to have more information about the clerk of court and what I would bring to that office, I'm very much sure I'll add. One last thing before I sit down, I'm gonna move toward my chair so you know this is it. The courthouse, if you poll the people at the courthouse now, employees in the clerk of court's office, the solicitor's office, the custodial staff to the circuit court judge, there are 100 people in that building, and I have no doubt that I would get 95 of those votes. That's how certain that I am that the people that work with the clerk of court today realize there needs to be a change in Lexington. I hope you'll agree.
Okay. Thank you.